Welcome. This is the Between Brothers podcast, where we give you real talk, authentic takes, and laughs on sports, pop culture, and life. I'm your host, the Duke of Dividend. It's Lando in the building, along with my big brother, the charismatic one full of charisma, the chancellor, my big brother Zero. How's it going, man? How was your week?
Week was all right. Yeah, didn't have to work. Didn't have to work Friday, so that was kind of well. I understand because you know the fourth fell on a Saturday, so of course you ain't gonna. Of course they're like you wouldn't work on that day. I mean, shoot, you better give me my holiday pay. It's like you ain't gonna try to skip out on trying to pay me my holiday pay.
Hmm.
um, yeah, either that is like there was something that I saw um on social media. It's starting to get on my nerves now. You know this whole Brandon Ayuk situation.
Yeah,
It's like he just is like he don't seem to understand that all this crap that he's doing is making teams not even want to deal with that type of nonsense. It's like now and then now you went from I'm gonna be a commander soon to now you beefing with Jaden Daniels. Like,
the team that he was asking to go to, and that, like,
he's like, you went from one day saying I'm gonna be a commander to now you on social media because supposedly Jaden Daniels when he followed the team, I think Ayuk started following the team and Daniels DM'd him and said, this is my team. You got to follow my rules or something of that nature. And then Ayuk turned around and said, "Yo, you gonna have these like you gonna I'll listen to you when you stop following behind your mom or something of that nature." It was like as soon as he said that, they unfollowed each other. It's like, yo, the only team that may have been dumb enough to want to bring you in, you.
I saw somebody said Antonio Brown walked so Brandon Ayuk could run.
And it's like it don't make any sense because like you already burnt because he said that he wasn't gonna go. I guess if nobody decides to pull the trigger, he wasn't gonna show up to 49ers, yeah, show up to the building until like October, basically doing like the same thing that Le'Veon Bell did. Um yeah, when he was with this, I think it's the final year of the Steelers. Because I know, yeah, I think Le'Veon had sat out until October. I think it was like, yeah, halfway through the season. It was like, yeah, they'll let you in the building, but that don't mean they gonna allow you to play. It's like said, nigga, they'll probably find you for conduct detrimental. It's like, yo, or do you like Keyshawn Johnson and be like, you know what? Just go home. Just stay home. It's like this is when the people around it's like who are the people around you? But then again, who's to say that he don't got people around him that's saying, yo, you need to cut this shit out. And he's just not listening to them. So I mean, there he could have some folks in his ear saying you doing the right thing, and folks in his ear saying, "Yo, you ruining your career." over nonsense. But it's like, you know what? Let him ruin his career. It's like he's the one that wants to go down this road. He's gonna have to learn the hard way. It's like you are not above the program.
You know. So I went to a Longhorn Steakhouse, ordered a steak. I'm like, I need the outlaw ribeye medium. Cooked it. It was well done. Good look. Need that medium, run it back. Lady brings it out, and she was like, I'm glad we were able, which actually, when they brought it up next time, it was more closer to like medium rare, but I was like, I'm about to just be, when I order it, do steaks first all day. So I was like, I'll deal with it. The lady comes out and she's like, I'm glad that, we was able to get the temperature where you wanted it to be, blah, 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 blah. But, me, I'm more like a medium well done.
Mm.
So now I can only eat well done steak for the rest of my life. Why do I say that? It was a white woman who told me that. And I thought white people only ate raw meat. So I outwhited the white person. And I can't have that. So it was well done from here on out. I don't care. Just well done. Not medium well. I'm just like, I need that steak as dark as me. but
You gotta say it
man,
twice. I want it well done, well done.
uh I don't know what I was thinking this weekend. Went out is for those who don't know, it's been a heat wave across the globe. And my behind decided I was like, I'm gonna do some weed whacking, completely drenched in sweat. Now I've said this on the podcast many times. I've had I have a I don't have a large house, but I have a large yard, like very large front yard, I guess front and side yard, and a decent sized backyard. To be honest, the backyard is probably not as spacious as it can be because there's a massive tree in the backyard.
Mm.
But is what it is. So I go around doing the weed whacking. I'm like, I'll mow the lawn in the middle of the week when it's a little cooler. But bro, I was drenched. So what do I do? Follow that up next day, today, by going outside, cooking on the grill. I'm like, why? I hate being high, yet I decided to do things outdoors all weekend and two things that will make you even hotter. But I grilled a steak for the first time,
Mm.
and it turned out pretty good. Turned out pretty good. One thing I get scared of because I made some jerk chicken because I've done it before where the chicken was undercooked. Chicken was cooked right, everything was cooked right. So yeah, no, it was a good meal this evening. It was the only thing I ate today. Um, but yeah, it's been a good week, and my job had a hot dog eating contest. Absolutely vile behavior. Absolutely vile behavior. Just a gang of niggas stuffing their faces with glizzies, man. Glizzy gobbling all day. So yeah, that was my week. That was my week. But speaking of white people, Stephen A. Smith comes out. talking about the Lakers' top three players. And he says, y'all gonna act like the Lakers. Or how do the Lakers, virtually, I'm paraphrasing, how do the Lakers expect to win a championship when their three best players are white? So there's people out there like, nah, man, that's wrong because when they said that about us and this, that, and the other. All right, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be funny and serious. Okay. When I saw Walker Kessler get signed, I instantly thought the white ratio was too high for that team. I don't think that the Lakers are a championship team. The Lakers aren't a championship team, but it has nothing to do with them having three white guys as their three best players. They're not a championship team because their two best players can't guard an empty parking lot. So that's why. And those guys are on your starting lineup. And Walker Kessler is not a great defensive center. He can defend, but he's not an elite defensive center. So they have three of their five best players. None of them are great defensively. But as Nick Wright said, nobody had that thought go through their mind. So none of y'all. Like I saw like Jeff T talking about it and the historical thing and then saying that it was racist and this, that, and the other. And I'll get to the serious part of it here in a moment. But none of y'all thought that? Y'all really about to tell me that. Nobody looked at Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, and Walker Kessler and thought,
Where's the defense coming from this year?
where's the black coming from? That's none of y'all thought that. None of y'all thought, looked at that roster and was like, that's the whitest roster I've ever seen in my life.
You're going back to the 60s.
I'm just saying. It why are we trying to act like Stephen A. Smith didn't have a point? Why are we doing that right now? Now, now as people have made fun of me about, is I'm always rooting against white players.
Mm.
Back in the day when King Sean was on the podcast, I had the phrase always bet on black anytime it was a black dude versus a white dude. But again, it's not why the Lakers aren't a championship team. But nobody is going to look at that roster and see those three dudes as your best players and think you about to win a championship. Now, if it was,
Shit, what does Vegas say?
I don't know, I didn't know.
I'm about to look.
Um, the if it was, I'm trying to think of like three players that are comparable to them now. So Luca, very versatile, can't guard. So if it was James Harden, trying to think of a black wing that can't really guard. James Harden, Zach Levine, and I can't really think of a center that's comparable. No, and Zach Levine can guard. So, like, it's hard to find black dudes that fit that description. So if it was like, let's just take it out, like versatile offensive player, can could be a triple double, big. So let's say LeBron, um, Jalen Brown, and uh, Carl Anthony Towns. Like I think people think that team can win a championship.
Mm.
So, but like I said, it's just like, but it's not even just like the fact that they're white. It's the fact that also there's no athleticism, and they play. Two of them play the positions that have a very high athletic opponents. Like you know what I'm saying? Like Luca doesn't guard point guards. He can't guard any point guards because they're too fast. But like you guarding two guards is just like, bruh, like all of them gonna feast on you, and they do. And then when you look at Austin Reeves, all of them gonna feast on you, and they do. So it's just like there's no athleticism on your team either. Probably because you're white, because there aren't a whole lot of hyper athletic white guys. You know what I'm saying? Like the most athletic white player in the NBA I can think of is Cooper Flag. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't care what y'all say about McClung, he's not an NBA player.
You're right.
Like
But he won
he can
dunk
win, he
contest
can
though.
win 100 dunk contests. He's not an NBA player. And also he struggles defense. He can jump high. He's not very great laterally. He's not very fast. So it's just like, yeah, he's not, which is weird because usually people can jump high or fast. So I don't know how he's pulled that off. I'm not saying he's slow. He's just not a very fast player. So it's just like, oh, that's kind of strange. But yeah, I don't see what the issue is with what Stephen A. Smith said. I'll get to the racial point of it in a second, but I want Zero to give us his thoughts on the commentary and all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't see what's wrong with it either. I mean, like you've seen these guys play.
Yeah,
Like you've seen these guys play. It's like, like in especially we already know defensively they're cones. Why would you and I looked up the betting odds. They said the Lakers are currently sitting at roughly plus 3,000 or plus 35 to plus 3,500 odds to win the NBA championship.
31, 30 to 1 odds. Come on now.
And in the Pacific Division, they're around minus 105 to win the division.
So they're favored to win the division, I think. Well, actually, that doesn't mean they're favored. But the Pacific Division, I think, is one of the weakest divisions in basketball right now, if I'm not mistaken. Um, yeah, just because they're minus odds, that doesn't mean they're most
Yeah.
likely the favorite. They're most likely the favorite, but
And they
actually, no, no,
actually
no. I would
said,
say I would say probably Golden State would be the favorite, depending on what happens in the offseason. But currently, they probably should be the favorite to win that division.
and it said the Lakers acquiring Walker Kessler gave their championship futures a noticeable boost in the betting market. What exactly is a notable boost? But
A notable boost. So they went from 40 to 1 to 30 to 1. I don't understand.
it's uh, like yeah, I don't get what
They're probably bottom 10 in or bottom definitely bottom half of the league in betting odds. So it's just like, okay, like I don't even understand that.
it just feels like folks just want to be up in arms because Stephen A said it out loud on national television that you got what makes you think that you gonna win that they're a championship team when you got three white guys as your three white guys are your best players? Like you said, it was like Luca. You get it because of what he can do on offense, but he's still a defensive liability. Um, Austin,
So I won't say Luca
Austin,
led the league in scoring.
yeah, he did, he did. Austin is like, yeah, he did well as the second option,
Yeah,
but are you thinking? But it's like, are you thinking that he's going to be able to do this on a year to year basis?
yeah. That's a big question.
And Walker Kessler, and with Walker Kessler, I'll give it back to you.
Yeah. So there was a guy, because the racial thing is the biggest thing, right? And it's just like so like I said, Jeff Teague said it. There was a guy who mentioned like, oh, how racist Stephen A was, and then people were criticizing, or he tried to like 8 Mile it because he said that there were teams that won because Stephen A asked when has it ever happened that a team that had three white guys as their primary players win a championship. So the guy says the '86 Celtics, one of the greatest regular season or one of the greatest teams of all time, single season teams of all time. And then I think he said the '57, '58 Minneapolis Lakers.
Look how far back you got to go in order for you to find
So
them.
he tried to 8 Mile it saying, oh, yeah, I get it. That was 40 years ago. But yeah, that was it was on Twitter, so he never responded to me. He just made sure he responded to everybody else though. But it's because like people don't know how to talk about anything. What these people are doing is running straight to social media or ChatGPT or Google and looking up, trying so hard to debunk Stephen A. Smith and looking up players or rosters that had three white players on the starting lineup or even on the roster. I don't know how they did this lookup. But the Celtics did have three white players on their starting roster: Danny Ainge, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale. Stephen A. Smith said,
Wait, Danny Angel's a starter for the Celtics?
yes, apparently. Um,
Mm. I-
so Stephen A. Smith said, and I didn't necessarily look it up. Stephen A. said that he started for them because he had a rebuttal to the backlash, and he was like, he's not changing his position. Which shout to Stephen A. for that because we got to stop acting like this isn't a real thing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like the white cornerback. You know what I'm saying? The white defensive back, people are always going to look at that like, why is he playing that position? Because again, it's a hyper, it's the most athletic position on the field. And like I don't even know, like there's no question about it. These
mm.
guys are on average 5'10", 5'11", 5'10" to 6 foot. They're guarding guys on average 6'3" to 6'4". They got to run as fast backwards as those guys run forwards, and they got to jump 6 inches higher than them just to be able to contest the ball. It's the most athletic position in football. I'm not saying it's the hardest, not saying it's the best. It's the most athletic. Basketball has thrived on hyper athleticism. There's guys like Luka and Jokic who aren't extremely athletic who are doing extremely well, just like Larry Bird did. But that doesn't change the fact that most of that 90% of the best players in the world are extremely athletic. So, um, that being said, the person was like, yeah, these were the rosters. I don't care that there were white players on the rosters. on these rosters because Stephen A. Smith said one thing that really that nobody was talking about. He said, "Well, your three premier players are white," which the only roster that anybody could come up with was that Minneapolis Lakers in the 50s. This was before Bill Russell got in the league. So, or I think the year Bill Russell got in the league. So we gotta stop acting like things can't be true. Was his comment racist? No, not in my opinion. Because it's just the truth. We haven't seen it in our life in our lifetime. We haven't seen it. It's when you got to go back to the 50s. My father, may he rest in peace, was 3 years old when this happened. My mother wasn't even born yet. May she rest in peace. So yeah, like has it ever? It was he being a little bit hyperbolic when he said when has it ever happened or it's never happened? Yes, because there was a time where the league didn't have black players, so of course it's happened. So he said three best players, which again eliminated because the third best player on that Celtics team was Robert Parrish. It was not Danny Ainge. It was not Bill Walton.
Yeah, Bill Walton came off the bench.
You see what I'm saying? So it's just like, if Bill Walton didn't have his injury history, he probably never plays on the Celtics until he was still been a starting player in the league. So it's just like, what are we talking about? Here's why Jeff Teague had made the comparison when they used to say black players couldn't play quarterback, black players couldn't coach, or black people couldn't coach. That was not a detriment on their physical capabilities.
It was all mental.
And that's why all y'all niggas are stupid. I love Jeff Teague. I love his podcast. You're dumb for that. Because you like you're so worried about protecting I guess like an image or something like that. You're just not even thinking about what's true and what's not true. They're still specifically the NFL, they're still showing that they don't want black people coaching their players. The only black coach that can go anywhere right now is Mike Tomlin. He can get literally, there's probably 6 jobs that he can't get right now in the NFL. In all honesty, 2 of those jobs he probably should be able to get.
Mm.
Just because he's outperformed everything. No matter how bad the Steelers roster is, they managed to win games. Based on that, he is the coach similar to Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra was known for the coach who elevates bad players the best in the league, and that's why people thought he was a top 2 or top 3 coach. He hasn't had a great amount of playoff success because he has a mediocre roster, just like Mike Tomlin has. Mike Tomlin hasn't had an elite roster. Now, when he had the Killer Bees, that was probably the time where he should have been winning championships. And then there was a guy named Tom Brady.
Mm.
Just like we've discussed many times, there was a guy named Michael Jordan. And Tom Brady's known as the Michael Jordan of football. So when we're talking about a guy not being physically capable of doing things, the athleticism that are coming from those 3 players is not it. That is not a team that you would look at and think that that's a championship roster. All the moves that the Lakers have made is not conducive of building a championship roster. The I understand y'all focus on the racial point, but just take the racial. Let's take the racial component out of it. Let's say he doesn't say the white thing. Would you look at that roster and believe that was a championship roster? The answer is no. So who cares? Who cares that he talked about the complexion of their skin? But as many black people and as many black people in sports media who ran to defend this, this is why the great American philosopher Dante's Boxing Nation says, we don't have the complexion for the protection. Because y'all were quick to jump and protect these people who y'all know isn't a championship roster, who y'all know that we've never seen anything like this in our lifetimes. I don't know why we're surprised. They were saying black quarterbacks weren't smart enough to lead football teams. Not that they weren't talented enough, not that they weren't gifted enough. Not so that's a whole different conversation. They were saying black head coaches weren't smart enough to lead teams. That the game was too complex for black quarterbacks to they don't have the processing power.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like I don't know what y'all are talking about. These things are not comparable. Oh yeah, well, what if they said that about a black dude? Yeah, they've been saying. I just don't understand why people say what if like it wasn't happening. Like we're celebrating 250 years of American history this year. 250 years. 230 of them, 220 of them has been littered in racism and treating black people like second class citizens. And we still have a lot of it going on today. What are we talking about? I'm not saying that what Stephen A. Smith said wasn't insensitive. That's a whole different thing. But do not talk to me about what if they said this about black people. They've been saying it about black people. And now they don't say it anymore. They show it. Black quarterbacks, black coaches get the shortest leashes. If Mike Tomlin would have, because if Mike Tomlin ever had a sub 500 season, he would have got fired immediately. That's not the Steelers' way. Okay. Watch when Mike McCarthy does nothing with this team, how many years he gets.
Shoot, what's the name? Flores has yet to get a head coaching job since he got let go.
And Flores would have been perfect for the Steelers. But the Steelers were like, yeah, let's reunite Aaron Rodgers with the guy that he got fired.
That'll put butts in seats.
No, it's not even because the Steelers fan base is insane. It's not even about putting butts in seats. They're supposed to be about winning championships. That's not gonna do anything to win y'all a championship. Your roster is
You
not a
gonna try to
championship roster. Mike McCarthy's not a championship coach anymore. Aaron Rodgers ain't a championship quarterback. He's 9,000 years old and counting. But hey, y'all want to make this thing bigger than what it is, but it is what it is. The Lakers do not have the athleticism with those three Caucasian players because none of
yeah.
them are very athletic. Not saying that
What the
they're
fuck is their
not good
starting
players.
lineup?
I don't know. Somebody posted something that they said they're tracking to have an all white starting lineup.
Because didn't they sign that dude that has the witches spell for a last name?
Yeah, but I don't know if he's gonna be a starter though.
Shoot, the way it's looking.
So like, again, I don't want to speculate starting lineups until close to October, but like, yeah, let's stop acting like because those three players are the three best players on their roster right now, so they're all going to be starters. And that's not to say that they're not going to win 40 games, 45 games. But to act like you looked at those three guys and thought that was a championship team, shut the fuck up, please.
Championship team play in team.
They're not even playing. They you know what? Not everybody in the playing nowadays. So who knows?
Yeah, that is true.
I hate the playing so much with a passion. I hate it with a passion. 10 teams from each league each of the conference, the playoff team. Come on, 70% of the league is in the playoffs. Stop it.
And
And
now with the
all
anti,
you're doing is wearing down those players. So then they get when they play in the real playoffs, they're one or two games gassed. Anyways,
and
I
what's it
didn't like it
called?
when the MLB did it. The the one game.
The one game wild card?
Yeah,
I think they still do it.
no, that's what I'm saying. I don't like it. Why are we doing this? Play a real friggin' series.
Yeah, because it's what
Especially in
the
baseball, because you
three.
have the pitching and all that stuff, and
Yeah,
these guys wear their arms out. They can play once every 5 days. Now you got to put your best guy out to play, and now you're putting your third best guy out to play against their best guy. Like that's just stupid. Anyway, I'm sorry. I went on a
what's
rant.
it called? The yeah, because it's three. Because baseball is three divisional champions and two wild card teams.
Yeah, it used to be 3-1.
Yeah, that's because only yeah, it's only two rounds. Well, no, three rounds. You count the World Series. That yeah, I don't like it. Yeah, I've never liked it either. But I don't even think they even do that. Like put if the two wild card teams got to play each other that one game playoff that they even put their best guy out there.
They do. They do.
Now that's just fucking stupid.
No, but it's not stupid. But it's not. You think it is stupid, but it's not stupid because you have to give yourself the best chance to win. So you see what I'm saying? So it's just like, yeah. Now there could be like a silent agreement,
But
like
then again,
we're gonna put the fifth guy in our rotation for this game. You see what I'm saying? Like,
there aren't pitching staffs like what the Braves had in the '90s, where you can where a you can have a Tom Glavine play, they win the wild card, and then you got Greg Maddux playing in the first game of the NLDS. Yeah, there's
that.
not pitching staffs like that anymore.
But even if there were pitching staffs like that, you have to make the decision on who's gonna be the guy who goes in. Because no matter that Braves lineup was fantastic, but there was a number one guy and there was a number four guy. You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter. It doesn't change. Like, yeah, your number four guy is better than most number one guys. But that doesn't change the fact that you're not going in with your best guy. Like I said, unless these two teams make a silent agreement, we're gonna put the fifth guy in the rotation, and then may the best man win. But then somebody gonna break it, like the great American philosopher um, Herman Edwards once said: "You play to win the game." Anyways, we spent too much time on this topic. The legend who has a record who I'm not even sure will ever be broken. Chris Johnson diagnosed with ALS, rapid decline, extremely rapid decline. Um, that season he had was, I never really thought he was a great or he was like, because I remember we had a conversation years ago when we had our old YouTube channel.
Hmm.
Who was better between him and Adrian Peterson? And the consensus was that Adrian Peterson. So I never thought he was better than Adrian Peterson, but he was one of the 3 to 4 best running backs in football at the time. And to see that guy go to that, it's extremely unfortunate.
Hmm.
And I wish this disease didn't exist because it's one thing like the two like it would be one thing like my favorite offensive lineman of all time is Nick Mangold. Like one thing where it's like you have a kidney thing, and then he wasn't able to get a transplant. If he was, he would have beat it. There is no transplant for this. There is no cure for this. Similar to Alzheimer's, like it's just one of those things where it's so horrible. Where you have, um, like especially for a professional athlete who did so much with his body and put his body on the line not only to put food on his family's table, but also to give us entertainment. And for that type of person to decay and deteriorate so rapidly, and now he can't do anything with his body. Like when I saw the headline, I didn't think they were talking about PJ2K.
Hmm.
I'm like, there must be another Chris Johnson. And like people with Alzheimer's, and it's just like, they use their minds, then all of a sudden all these memories fade and, their families are, it's never easy for the family because it's like, yeah, remember when we did this and they have no idea what you're talking about. Sometimes can't even identify you,
Hmm.
and it's just like, it's extremely unfortunate. And I don't know what to say about it really. I hope nobody has to go through this. I remember there was years ago I was watching this like documentary or docu-series about a guy. It might have been like a 60 Minutes thing. There was a guy who was trying to be a 2-star Michelin chef, which was like which is extremely high achievement. And he ended up getting cancer in his tongue.
Mm.
And he was hoping and it ended without anything being in the balance or whatever. But it was like, he was the operation would have removed 70% of his tongue, and he wouldn't have been able to work anymore. And I think about like those people who have Alzheimer's, ALS, and then that unfortunate situation is just like, damn, I don't know what to say. You know what I'm saying? But prayers to the Chris Johnson family, and hopefully the NFL takes care of him. You know what I'm saying? Takes care of his family because he's not going to survive this. So yeah. What are your thoughts and everything?
Yeah, it's really like you said, when I saw the headline, I was like, Chris Johnson is sick, or Chris Johnson is dealing with ALS. And like I said, I would see like the video, like him talking to Michael Strahan, but it will be on mute. Yeah, it'll be on mute, and he's sitting there, and I'm not even. I'm just thinking that he's just listening to Strahan. I'm not no. I did because I didn't unmute the video because I'll be scrolling on YouTube, and you can view videos now without actually having to click on the video, or you can unmute it while it's on the screen. And it was like, and then when I finally looked at it, it was like he's using his eyes to um he's using his eyes to say what he wants to say, and he made the speakers make it sound like his voice rather than him sounding like Stephen Hawking or something of that nature. It was like it, it was like I it just felt so bad to just hear him say 1 minute he's picking up his 7 year old, the next minute he can't do it's like, and then all of a sudden he can't do anything. Like the fact that you went from holding your 7 year old to now you can't do anything with your body is ridiculous. It's like that's a scary thing to think about, to go from being able bodied to now you can't do anything. Like your mind is still sharp. Your body just can't do anything. Is like that's a really scary thought to to even imagine something like that. It's like like that's like super unfortunate because like you said, it happened. Yeah, his body deteriorated so fast. But yeah, that was like hopeful. Yeah, it's like, and then to hear that his his doctors, when everything started happening, it said they were just like, get your affairs in order.
Yeah, it's terminal. It's a terminal disease.
It was like it was like I that like when I know that would be the toughest thing to hear. Like when you're sick, like you
And
said, it's a
he's
terminal.
young. You
Yeah,
know, he's
it's like
40s. Like,
yeah, it was like yeah. I don't think he turned 40 yet. It's just like wow. It's like 39. You're told get your affairs in order. Like that. I saw Marshawn Lynch do the ice bucket challenge. They actually dumped ice on him, so it was like somebody got it right. It was like- but but it's good that it's good that he has that type of support because I think it was yeah, Marshawn's the first person to do it so far. But this Dan Lebatard dude, man, like he just wanted to make it the fact that because Chris Johnson played football is and wanted Strahan to ask him this question: do you think football is the reason why? It was like, come, like, if you want to do an interview with him and you ask him that question, you go ahead and have an interview with him and ask him that question. It was like to say that Strahan that Strahan couldn't, yeah, the fact that Strahan didn't ask him this question was what bad journalism. It's like,
I mean, Strahan didn't go into this as a journalist, though. He's the reason why he was able to get the interview and is because he was an NFL player. It's not like he did it with a Steve
yeah,
Smith or a Cowherd. Well, actually, Cowherd wasn't a journalist. Skip Bayless, and like uh, um, Jamel Hill. It's
Steve,
not like he did it with who was the other
yeah,
guy? Who was the guy who used to do the joint his and hers? Um, was it
Michael
Michael Smith?
Smith.
It's not like he did it with somebody from around the horn. He did it with football players. And also, Michael Strahan is not going to put that out about the NFL because
Mm,
it didn't happen to him. And he probably doesn't know anybody else or know very many people who that's happened to. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I know you had looked up earlier, like, 55 NFL players have gotten the disease. It's like 5,000 people play in the league. That's, you know, a half a percent, or I think 0.1%. So just like the disease is so rare as it is.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean, Dan Levitard, he's a good sports person for the most part. I haven't seen him since he's been off of ESPN. Actually, no, mine. I think I saw him one time. Him and Jamel Hill were talking about Stephen A. Smith and Jason Whitlock the first time Stephen A. Smith went at him.
mm.
But he did his opinion about Jason Whitlock was pretty much everybody else's. They don't really like the guy. But yeah, it's just it's is Dan Levitard wrong for having the criticism? No, he's not.
Mm.
The problem is this ain't about football. It's about a man's life. So that's where he dropped the ball. He cared more about the questions than about Chris Johnson. And not only that, he cared like it was like it didn't matter that. I guess he can kind of spin it like, well, yeah, that's why we need to answer that question. So there's not another Chris Johnson, which I guess that makes sense. But I know you had mentioned like I guess of the professional athletes that get the disease, um, football players have it happen the most often.
Hmm.
But I don't know what causes the disease because I always ask about these diseases that they relate to football to boxing because people are like, oh, well, you're not crashing your heads into other people for 3 hours in a boxing match. But it's just like, but unlike boxers, NFL players have protective headgear on and protective gear on in general. Boxers, the most
Hmm.
protective thing on them is the cup.
You can't hit below the belt.
And you're not even supposed to hit down there, like where the cup is. It happens, but you're not even supposed to hit down there. So it's just like, oh, like, we've seen people die from boxing injuries. So it's just like,
Hmm.
I don't know many people who die from football injuries. So now maybe the mental things, the CTEs and stuff like that, but I don't know why boxing doesn't get more like eyes on it from this stuff. Especially like I think it was like 2018 or 2019 or something like that. It was like a lot of boxers dying. They weren't like high level boxers, but there was like a lot of boxers. I think like six in a year had died, which had never happened since like it was the most since like several years. Like it was decades, I think it was. But it was just like maybe because boxing is more of a niche sport than a mainstream sport now. But it's just like, this isn't a common thing with boxers, but it's a little more common thing with football players. Where's the correlation with that? Same thing with hockey. Like I'm just talking about things where you're colliding into people on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Why aren't these things happening? Like what makes the NFL different? Because I don't know about you, but as somebody who's participated in boxing as well as football, I'd rather take a big hit than I'd rather take a big hit from a football player than a big hit from a boxer.
Yeah.
Like I'm just speaking from experience. And again, I wasn't necessarily an offensive player, so I didn't necessarily take hits that often. But just from me feeling the the force of a tackle, and that might be. Of course, I never got hit by an NFL player, but like what I'm saying, I'm assuming the other guy who's in the NFL knows what has the ability to take a hit from another NFL player. Like it's not like I'm not gonna like if somebody were to ask me, would you rather take a punch from Deontay Wilder or go heads up with Ray Lewis? I'm going Ray Lewis every time. You know what I'm saying? Because I can brace my whole body. I can't for a tackle. I can't brace my whole body for a punch. And like, you know what I'm saying? It's just head and neck. So it's like, I don't know, man. I think Dan Levitard was too focused on the job
Hmm.
and not focused on like this person's coming out and telling his story. And that's the only thing that really matters. Um, okay, so Arie comes out and she talks about um how black culture is virtually glorifying. I guess it was Song of the Year, spend that.
Yeah. Well, song of the summer. Song of the
Song of the
summer.
Summer, Song of the Summer. Which it threw me off because I was like, summer just started. And I know I heard that song a long time ago. But I don't know how these songs work.
Sometimes um it takes a little bit of time for a song to catch up, or the vibe of the song may fit a certain season versus when it actually comes out.
But now some people was like, India.Arie was hating that she never had a song hit like this song or whatever. One thing I don't care about anymore is black people talking about the culture as a whole because something negative gained popularity.
Hmm.
Because you're also a part of the culture. And we got to stop acting like a catchy song ain't a catchy song. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, the song is catchy, it's a bop, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like there's been plenty of artists who have specifically in the hip hop space who rapped about violence, selling drugs, um, like I'm a hustler. I remember Cassie was like, he said in I'm a hustler, like I make more, how do you say it? I can't remember the exact lyric, but he was like, I make more I make more dough. I made more dough. I made more dough on the grind than doing shows. And it's just like so virtually he's saying like or going gold. So he's saying I'm a gold record artist and I made more money selling drugs. And it's like, dang. So why would you get into hip hop?
All right, so he said royalty checks come like once in a blue moon, but I'm getting my dove. It was like, he said my bills are coming too soon. My son's gonna be too soon. Royalty checks come like once in a blue moon, but I'm getting my dough from doing shows. I made more dough on the grind than going gold.
You see, like that's what I said. Like he said, I made more dough on the grind than going gold. Like he made more dough moving work than being a gold artist. Now, whether he was a real drug dealer or anything like that, I don't know, nor do I care. But it's just like that's glorifying drug dealing. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z and You Don't Know glorified drug dealing. Um,
Because he did say I do more than just do tunes. Yeah, yeah. How the verse begin. I'm married to the game, same bride, just a new groom. I do more than just do tunes because my bill's coming too soon. And what I read beforehand.
and then you consider like, you know what I'm saying, like um, like I said, there's plenty of songs that glorified violence. You know what I'm saying? It's just like by the end of the day, it's what sells. And unfortunately, negativity sells. And then, of course, when it comes to women, like there's women on social. Young Miami made a song about what women have been saying on social media. At least it's come to my attention over the last 2 years. They said they'd rather marry a drug dealer, a scammer,
Then a 9 to 5
than a
nigga.
9 to 5 dude because of how fast he can get money. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, well, yeah, he can get the money fast, but then he'll lose it fast and lose his freedom with it or get murdered with it. So it doesn't matter. But then, yeah, I guess you like on to the next one. And then next thing you know, you look up, you're 43, and you're looking for somebody to settle down with, and you're going to the Russell Wilsons of the world.
Spicy.
Now you're over here talking about you unlimited. Shout out to Russell Wilson, man. I
Gotta
heard
be
he got a
careful
deal.
though.
I heard he got a deal with CBS Sports. Okay,
I think so. Yo, don't have him broadcast.
I
Don't
need
have
him.
a
I
broadcast in
need
front of
him.
those games.
I need him to do whatever games he want. Oh, it's gonna be pure entertainment. But yeah, so like I don't know, like it's so one of these things. Like I remember, like Candace Owens was like the black culture is so perverse and this and the other, and I'm just like, there's negative things about black culture, and then there's a lot of positive things about black culture, and then there's a lot of people who love that song who would never consider doing those things.
Yeah. Like you said, the song is just catchy to them, but it was like, but I'll never live that lifestyle though.
You know what I'm saying? Like some of my favorite rappers glorified selling drugs. I would sell everything but drugs. You know what I'm saying? And I remember when our mom died, like the rumor around the family, I guess because like I was outside a lot and I always talked about being rich. People thought I was gonna start selling drugs. Like the only thing that kept me from selling drugs is our mother. It's just like, not really. I mean, I guess that could have had something to do with it, but no, never had a desire to sell drugs. Let me say, I shouldn't say I sell everything but drugs. If I was a pharmaceutical rep, I heard they make some bread. But yeah, so it's just like it's a catchy song. Don't mix that with culture. Because there's a lot of black people in jail, but there's a lot more free black people than incarcerated black people. Women, black women specifically, like because those are the women who those are people who like the song. Highest educated demographic in the United States.
Yep.
Like it's a song. So we gotta stop like criticizing everything with the black culture. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, she's a part of the black culture. Her music is also a part of the black culture. So you know what I'm saying? It's just like why is that a detriment to black culture? But songs that talk about cheating isn't a detriment to black culture. You know what I'm saying? Like even like a lot of the songs that are about cheating is the apology song
Hmm.
or the I'm leaving you because you cheated on me song. But it's just like why are those? But like even still, like you know, songs like Creep, like why isn't that a detriment to the black culture? Like you know what I'm saying? Like um or what
Does it sound good?
I should have cheated. I should have cheated, with Keisha Cole. Like why aren't but yeah, like you said, because it sounds good. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, nah, that's but Diddy has done more harm to black culture than that song has. You know what I'm saying? Like he's incarcerated for doing what he did to a woman, and then he was licking semen off of nipples.
All right, man. All right, man. We don't need to relive that. And besides, what? And besides, even though he was doing that, if he didn't do, if he didn't get arrested for what he did, we would never know what he was doing.
I'm
so,
glad he did. I'm
so,
glad he did.
so I don't know if that.
R.
I don't
Kelly,
know.
R. Kelly is significantly more damaging to black culture than that song is. Yeah, y'all can say it's individuals, but how many dudes came out afterwards after R. Kelly was like, well, what R. Kelly did wasn't that bad because we was in high school and there was college age dudes and older guys picking up the high school girls from school.
It's like,
Like a lot of guys from R. Kelly's generation was saying that that was normal. So if that was normal, that's more cultural than girls singing about scammers.
It's like she may have the song about it, but that doesn't mean she's encouraging you to get with a scammer,
His young man, well, I guess Diddy is a scammer, so she's been with a scammer.
though.
He scammed the American people to believe that he wouldn't do something like
Never again.
he should never do that again. I hope he's learned his lesson. But he liked a lot of cameras though. Him and LeBron and Donald Trump. They lied at every camera they look at.
Yeah.
And Rich Paul. But yeah, that's it, man. That's all I got. You
All
got
right.
anything?
Nah.
All right, we did it. We did it. I need to get that. I need to get that sound. I need to get that sound. Shout out to Jason Tatum. Can't believe y'all defending Jason Tatum left and right ever since the Jalen Brown got traded. I'm whatever. I ain't gonna get into that. But anyways, Zero, what's your parting shot?
My parting shot is the young folks, you have the power of the sun in your hand. Please do your research. I just saw a video today where this older guy had to tell this kid that the NL on his hat meant Negro League. He said, I thought the NL meant no love. He has a bunch of Negro League baseball logos on his hat, and he thought the NL meant no love.
Oh my god.
Like you literally have a phone. You didn't even think. You could have Googled Google Lens the hat, and it could have told you this shit. He thought it said no, it meant no love.
Why would you think what was on the hat that made him you know what? I don't even care anymore.
He was like, "Yo," he said, all these logos up here are Negro baseball teams. Like, what did you think they were?" And he
Teams that got no love.
said,
Oh my god.
"That's my part shot. You have the power of the sun in your hands. It doesn't take anything to type a few words or to take a picture and search for it, and you can get all the information that you need." This nigga just picked up a hat and said, "Yo, that should mean no love." But why would you even have a hat that means no love on your fucking head? Like, if it did mean that, why did you? That's a part shot, yo.
Um my parting shot is F this heat. My house can't cool down fast enough. Apparently there was a in the Arctic somewhere it measured a high of 100.4 degrees, highest temperature ever recorded
What
in
in
the
the
Arctic.
world?
God help us all.
I mean, at least it got the probably get that water from the water boy from that glacier in Alaska.
What is up with glacier water? Because yeah, because that he what the water that water revived um Bobby
Yeah.
Boucher
Yup.
and Aang. You know when Aang got struck by lightning, they used the glacier water on his ass. Glacier water is something serious, man. We actually need the polar ice caps to melt. That glacier water got crazy healing properties. I seen Bobby Boucher and
Have a
Aang get brought back to
concussion.
life.
He got piled on. His whole body shut down, and all she did was give him a sip of glacier water.
A sip of glacier
And
water.
that dude did a kip up with equipment on.
Bruh, that don't make no damn sense. Yeah, man. We might, yeah, y'all keep destroying this environment, man, so you get that get a nice little sample of this
I
glacier.
said, "Fuck Fiji."
You know what I'm saying? Oh, they've been trying to scam us with this alkaline water when we got glacier water right in the North Pole. You know what I'm saying? We got iceberg water. That water was able to take out a whole ship and revive Aang and Bobby Boucher.
imagine, imagine how many electrolytes that's.
Yo, bruh, dude healed right up.
Niggas gonna quench their thirst. Whatever cuts they had open is gonna start sealing together and shit.
Yeah, we need that glacier water, man. Y'all playing with us too much. I'm trying to tell us the alkaline water better for us. Nah, we need the glacier water. Cut it out.
And isn't it with the alkaline water? It says that it's measured at a certain it's supposed to be like a 9.5 or something, but then when you open the bottle, it's like the
I
pH just
don't,
drops. I think.
no, I don't think that's the case because they do like I've seen people do when alkaline water was a thing, actually like
Uh,
pour the water in the cups and do a pH test or whatever. I just
okay.
don't know why, because there's neutral, which is supposed to be water,
Mm.
acidic, and then basic. Why I don't know why you want your water basic. I don't know how that helps you. Just keep my water water. I don't understand. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Unless it's glacier water, don't give it to me. Like don't change my water unless
Yo,
it's
that
glacier
shit.
water.
Yo, that's a perfect pH.
You know what I'm saying? It healed Aang from a lightning strike. Come on, cut it out.
Like what's his name?
It
It
revived
heals.
it revived Bobby Boucher like he took 4 smelling salts at the
Like the
same
fact that
time.
he was able to, the fact that he was completely knocked out, he was still able to swallow that water is crazy. He swallowed water laying on his back with his eyes closed. That is.
Glacier water brought back the Avatar state. Like, come on, yo, stop playing with glacier water. Yeah, go ahead, and keep getting them greenhouse gases out there, man. Anyway, that's it for us. If you like, comment, subscribe, however you if you see it on YouTube, viewing us on YouTube, and share if you like the podcast, share the podcast with whoever, and give us a review on iTunes or Spotify if you're listening on that. Thank y'all so much for listening to the Between Brothers podcast. We love you. We'll see you next week.